The daughter of former EFF Secretary-General Godrich Gardee has been found dead. In a statement, the EFF says 28-year-old Hillary Gardee's body was found abandoned outside Nelspruit in Mpumalanga. Gardee was reported missing on Friday after she was seen at a shop in the area. At the time of her disappearance, she was with a 3-year-old child who was later found alone. Let's talk more about this. We're able to speak now to the EFF spokesperson, Sinawo Tambo, who joins us by phone. Sinawo, welcome to the program, and thank you for making time for us under these tragic circumstances and really the news today, the worst that any parent can receive.
Absolutely. I mean, the God is extremely devastated and hurt, and had a lot for words on how to console our former Secretary General and current head of international relations on the painful and unfortunate, cruel and inhumane passing of his daughter. We do wish that her soul rests in eternal peace, and we send our eternal gratitude to all South Africans and people on social media who banded together and a man who has sacrificed his entire life fighting for the liberation of South African people. I hope that...
Sinawo, we're having just a bit of an issue with our audio to you, Sinawo, if you can hear me. We're losing you in some parts, but I did hear you say that Hillary Gardee's passing was, in fact, a cruel and inhumane death. Are you able to give us any idea, any indication about the circumstances of her death? Right, that's EFF spokesperson Sinawo Tambo speaking to us about the breaking news, tragic news today that the daughter of the party's former SG, Godrich Gardee, has been found, her body, in fact, being found near Nelspruit in Mpumalanga. Sinawo, if you're still able to hear me, we lost you there for a bit once again. Are you able to tell us anything further about the circumstances of Ms. Gardee's passing?
As I was saying, I'm not sure if I'm audible, but...
yeah, we can hear you now.
Her body was found 60 kilometers outside of Nelspruit, and she was abducted on the 29th of April, and it was made publicly aware that she was abducted while she was with her adopted child. And currently, we don't have the concrete circumstances in terms of the nature of her death, but we do know that her body was abandoned. And we'll confirm more details as the day proceeds, as the family gives us more updates, as they're distraught at this time and have asked, of course, that we as the EFF handle communications on their behalf. So we do ask for patience and compassion in that regard. But we're not sure of the motives behind it. There's a lot of speculation around it being political or related to the former SG, who's a lawyer, related to the high-profile cases behind it. So we're not going to enter that realm of speculation. Right now, we just want to provide comfort to the family, and hopefully as we proceed, justice for her and find the perpetrators of this very heinous crime.
And while you wait for more facts, which you do believe quite strongly is that Hillary Gardee was abducted last Friday as she left that supermarket.
Yes.
And let's talk about who Hillary Gardee was. I'm looking at the EFF statement. You've described her as a young woman who was enthusiastic, kind and loving.
Yes, I mean, so many of us who have been working in the EFF over the past couple of years have been blessed with the opportunity to personally meet the family of Commissar Godrich Gardee, someone who's welcomed us into his home, got him to get an intimate relationship with his family and his daughter in particular, who was an extremely kind individual, caring, which is, of course, more emphasized by the fact that at such a young age of 28, she was able to adopt a child because she felt that she can care for someone as young as she is herself. So she was someone who was extremely caring. She was dedicated to her craft. She was a student at UNISA who was studying information technologies, and, of course, she had her own business in IT as well. So she was someone who was extremely caring, very outgoing and friendly, and there's no character of a person that deserves to die, but when it comes to someone who has been so harmless and has shown such compassion to others, it becomes much more painful to bear and much more difficult to understand.
And as you were just telling us moments ago, that the family, of course, not hard to imagine, shattered by this news because there was still hope that Hillary would be found.
Yes, we were hoping to escalate our efforts, even in Parliament today, through a member statement, to give people a sense that this is a human being, this is a person that has gone missing, and we're going to escalate our efforts as an organization. The ground forces of the EFF in Mpumalanga were coming on board. We were going to ensure that we return her safety, and it's unfortunate that this chapter has had to end in such a tragic manner when we were scaling up our efforts to find her. So now our attention will be first and primarily consoling the Gardee family, and then our efforts will proceed swiftly to identifying those who committed this crime and ensuring that justice is served to Hillary Gardee so that she can rest in perfect and eternal peace.
What about her 3-year-old adopted child? Because that child was found on Saturday, if I recall correctly, abandoned.
Yes, so she's with loved ones at the moment. So she was the one who was able to raise the alarm that Hillary Gardee was abducted, and actually a painful recollection in terms of the information that we received. She was saying to the Gardee family that mommy is fighting, which gave us an indication that as someone as responsible as we know her, she wouldn't just disappear and abandon her child. And for her to be reiterating those words gave us sort of a glimpse into the fact that she was primarily being held against her will, and she was taken in a sense of struggle. And I think one thing we can perhaps be grateful for, a silver lining in such a tragic situation, is that at least that 3-year-old child managed to survive this ordeal unharmed, unscathed, and was able in her limited vocabulary to give us an impression that there was something that had gone amiss in terms of Hillary's life.
Horrific, of course, for a child so young to have witnessed, as you're saying, the child saying, "Mommy was fighting." Sinawo, we appreciate your time under these these terrible circumstances that we're speaking to you today. Sinawo Tambo, spokesperson for the EFF, thank you very much for your time today, sir.